Whoopsies. Didn't mean to do with that. Kind of got caught up in what I was poking at here, trying to get some of the shadow caster count turned down somewhat, and so I was trying somewhat unsuccessfully at times to ensure that I had grabbed all the things that needed to be two-sided. I think that should do the trick. Let's just double check here, because I think I also grabbed something that, yeah, I did. Of course I did. There we go. I do this sometimes. I look at the stats of the game, right? This box here in the upper right hand corner that I can't drag around, so it's really hard to read because it's partially transparent, and that's annoying as all heck. But essentially what it reads here is that I have just kind of a lot of stuff in scene, right? Like, it's not huge, it's not overbearing. I'm still above 60 frames per second, but not by a ton, which makes me think that the GPU is doing way more work than it ever should be, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna try I've been playing with some things to see what I can get to help, like setting all these objects to static might be a good way to maybe help this out. I don't know, it's funny, there's like a lot of bits and pieces here, and a lot of things that I want to make sure get batched together, because honestly none of this changes, right? The terrain never moves, trees never move. There's no reason to have all of this sitting here and not moving, if that's the case. So marking it as static seems not really to have helped a ton. Makes me wonder actually if I have static batching even turned on in my settings. Let's see here, project settings, graphics. No, that's not the right place. The trees are moving, so to speak, but they're all moving within a shader. It's not the kind of moving that Unity will ever complain about. And as far as Unity knows, they aren't moving. And so those it's actually safe to mark as static, despite the fact that, yeah, you might think that they are moving, but they really aren't. Oh, static batching is off. Well, that'll do it. Also, I don't know why GPU skinning is off. There's a lot of stuff in here that really ought to be on. That should be good enough for now. So some things I changed: forward rendering to deferred rendering. That essentially changes the order in which it does things. Forward rendering, it renders an object at a time, versus deferred, it kind of renders everything out and then does a bunch of changes all at once. Is that a dark tile? Yeah, it is. So on the upside, our frame rate did increase somewhat when we're looking at the main scene. We went from about 65 to 70, which isn't a huge increase, honestly. But what broke here? That's what I'm curious about. Was that like one of my changes here? Because that'd be kind of silly. No, okay, that's still broken. Let's turn off the static batching. No, it's just being goofy. Unity, what are you doing? I'm gonna kill Unity and bring it back. Sometimes that helps when you change major settings like that. I've had issues in the past with that, so we'll see if that... Nope. Nope, I just have a garbage tile. That's fine. We will simply take this and do that and fix the garbageness. What is going on here, guys? I don't think I meant to break anything, and yet here I am Like, completely... Oh, computer just had a giant twitch. And then it's back to being damaged. Oh boy. We're off to a good start today, aren't we? Wow. No, I'm somewhat impressed by my ability to... I don't even know what I did. Okay, so turning... It's not a shadow caster thing, because I can turn off the shadow casters. Whoa. If you turn off receive shadows, that breaks all kinds of stuff. Oh, we're back to this garbage. And now I don't actually remember exactly what I did to fix that last time. Oh boy. Yeah. What did I do last time to fix this? Maybe, ooh, maybe it's in my SVN log. Because I gotta remember. Otherwise, this is gonna be a pain in the ass all over again. Combat progress, beginning combat. Okay, so it was the fact that we had too many shadow cascades. Right. That's what it was. I think that should still be set. Like, that shouldn't have changed. And in fact, we still only have 2 shadow cascades here. God, 4 shadow cascades is so pretty, though. I'm so sad it's broken right now. You can kind of see all the brokenness that is the 4 shadow cascade setup. Also, I could have sworn... Okay, also, some of this is not the fault of the game. Some of this is the fault of the programmer. For example, if I do switch this all to 2-sided shadows, it at least will fix those shadows on the left-hand side. But yeah, anyway, whoops, didn't mean to do that. I don't mean to walk into fights, it just kind of happens. Anyway, so today, as the text actually says, see, gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. I don't know what's wrong with that single spot, but something about it is causing it to be a pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm probably not going to poke at it a ton today, if only because I've got better things to do, I guess, is the answer to that. Man, it just ticks me off that that's the case. Oh, wait, the floor variability shouldn't be using a transparent cutout. Okay, it also shouldn't be using a standard shader, clearly. Or at least not a standard shader with, we don't want any alpha cutoff. Yeah, no, okay. Standard shader is not the way to go. I just, see, you'll note the difference here. There's just this, like, white kind of, it's just not that great looking. It's not transparent, though. So I think I can just go back to the legacy diffuse stuff. We're still seeing garbage from this, though. Okay, okay, fine. It wants to be like that. It can be like that. It may tick me off, but oops. And then a 90-degree turn. Oh, is it the turn? No, it's being in that position. It's like it suddenly just becomes too much. Like this one tile is suddenly the last one in a series of something. Maybe it's like the last one in the vertex batch and it's too many vertices or something. I don't know. It's incredibly stupid that Unity, you get lovely things like this sometimes. Heck, I have a bug to submit today at work for Unity, so it's just proof. I don't know. Alright, so, and yet I still keep using it. It's a good engine, mostly. Alright, so what I was in on today. Today I wanted to get one more kind of combat pretty thing attached. Right now you just click attack and things attack, right? And what I wanted to do was put in modifiers for combat. So swinging a sword versus thrusting a sword versus... I know I had more than... Whoa, oh right, everyone's at 1 health. Forgot about that. Let's also fix that while we're here. Just because, you know, that's a terrible thing to leave our player characters doing. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Forgot to mute Mike for that one. Alright. Where's your start function? That's not 1 health. It's your max health. That's better. I know I had more than swing and thrust for sword. I know dagger had throw as well, even though there isn't really much in the way of range yet. Yeah. Looking through my document, seeing what I got. Swords. Swing, thrust. Okay, yeah, no, those are the only 2 for sword. Wow. I might have to come up with more. Because that seems kind of... like there isn't enough to kind of have the feature in. I would probably want more than that. What else do I have? Just out of curiosity. Combat actions. I have items. I have spells. I can do items. Pick from a list of items. So click the button. Pick from a list of items that that need to get handled, and then or maybe I should just do attack types. I don't want to be too I don't want to be too wishy-washy on what I pick today, because I just need to charge through something and get it done, especially since I'm already 15 minutes into my hour. Alright, I definitely don't have time to do spells or equipment changing today, at least not right now, because I haven't planned any of that. And by the way, I've got a whiteboard over this way, which is why I keep looking and thinking. Alright, yeah, let's just do attack types. It's what I had planned. So we need a couple things. One, click button. We need to show the extra buttons. So, for example, let's actually bring our combat UI back out, because we need to add to it. More buttons. More buttons. I'm just going to take the attack button and make copies of it. So pretty much none of these require anything extra. So I'm going to shift these over on this side to kind of create that, to create that familiarity, so that you kind of say, oh, I've clicked attack, I should probably click on one of these sub buttons that's popped up. So this will be subtype 1 or 0. Actually, this one's always Is it always going to be swing? It might always be swing. I just want to double check this, but I think, yeah, I pretty much always have swing as option 0. Alright, and then we go, what's the Y on this? You're 125, okay. There we go. This will be subtype 2. Oh, that was the name change. Whoops. Oh, that's also true. It just sounds lovely, doesn't it? Every time I make noises like that. I'm sorry, guys. Guys and gals, I do heartily apologize. There we go. And finally, we probably want a subtype 3. I know there's certain situations in which I have at least 3, if not more. I'm trying to think of other... I want to have 2 or 3 standard, and then kind of go from there. So let's get the text on this one all fixed up. Because these will be a little more dynamic, right? It's not just going to be the same every time. So sub option 1 should, is always swing, but after that it might be like thrust and jab, or it might be, I'm trying to see what the other ones are, like kick and punch, or it might be throw and shoot or something. I don't know. I actually don't know about shoot. Why do I have shoot in here? That's weird. Alright, so we've got our buttons. We have now attached said buttons, and I'm actually going to turn them off normally. Simply because they don't tend to be on. It's only when you click the attack button that they do turn on. So when we say choose the attack action, we need a couple more functions here. So there's 1, 2, 3. That or there we go. That might do me better. I like having less functions when I can help it, and I think Unity allows me to do cheesy stuff like this, where I can say subtype button 1, your on-click action should actually be the choose subtype with the subtype of 0, right? And then the next one, it has a choose, where is it? A choose subtype of 1. And this one has a subtype of 2. Simple, simple stuff. It's nice to be able to have that kind of customizability in here. Just makes our lives a little easier. For now, I'm going to leave it at 3 subtypes. We'll see what else comes up that might warrant more, but I think for now we're set. Okay, so you click on the attack button, and what do? Well, this definitely isn't the case anymore. We definitely don't want to be advancing the character choice. And in fact, I'm probably going to end up shifting everything down 1. Yeah, I pretty much am. Okay, but we do want this left. Because what we need to do is grab the weapon in their hand and check what the weapon's possible subtypes are. Because that's a big thing. The subtypes are not based on the character, they're based on the weapon in your hand. So I know I've already got Alright, so we've got this way of checking whether you have a weapon in your right hand. I'm going to use the same tactic. Whoops, I want the combat UI. Let's see here. Here's the choice owner. So we're going to grab what is essentially the weapon in their right hand and say, is this a weapon? If so, we need to grab the choices from the weapon. Otherwise, we're just going to put like kick and punch, right? That should be the most basic things you can do. A character can slug you or he can kick you. And maybe we'll leave it at that, at least for starters. And maybe I might toss in like jab, punch, or punch, jab, and kick, or something like that, just to make it a little more interesting and exercise all the buttons from the start, and then we know that it's going to continue working for all the other stuff. Yeah. So if the right hand weapon is not null, then here's the part we have to add something more to weapons, right? I like how weapons are slowly gathering more data, or all items in general, because if you look at our items, that's not a ton of data, but that's more than we started with, right? Energy cost wasn't there initially, the skill wasn't there initially, the hit bonus and damage wasn't there initially, it was just like name, icon, and what slot it took up. Now that it's getting more functional, we're adding more data to it, and so each time more data comes in, as it turns out, it's making this a lot easier for us to handle because more data is just kind of falling into the weapon. And that's where a lot of this data needs to hide. So we know these are flags. We know our, let's see, we'll call this attack type. Attack types? Really? I guess that's what it is. It's an attack type. And we've got some pretty basic stuff in here, right? They all have swing, probably. Actually, let's just put in the ones we care about. And then I guess the other thing is, so that's the obvious one. And I just want to make sure, oh, whoops, that's public. This is public. Hey, everything's public now. We need to put that enum flag that we made. I think it's just the enum. Is that really all I have to do? I didn't think so. I have to put the type. There we go. This should let us play with it like a flag, because remember, we've already built this enum flag attribute that has a bunch of information in it that allows the editor to actually handle it like a flag. So let's see here. We've always got swing. That much is obvious. And I'm just going to put swing in here. Swung. Did you swung your sword? I swung my sword very well. Let's toss the basics in here. Swing, let's see, for a sword, you'll have thrust. Kick. If you guys have any questions, you're kind of curious what the heck I'm doing or why I'm doing it this way, please, ask away. I'm happy to answer what I can. I keep thinking of like stab as a quick like or jab almost being a quick little like I need to just like hit you regardless. Like I'm trying to think of if there's like a quick sword move instead of, I guess swinging is pretty quick. We'll leave it at this for now. So swing, thrust, punch, kick. That's kind of all we need for now. We can work our way through it more later. So this should now have, once it compiles, hey, here's our attack types. So daggers, okay, we can swing and we can thrust a dagger. Pretty basic. Sword is actually exactly the same. Swing and thrust. Now, interesting. So punch and kick are kind of a standard thing for when you're unarmed. So the question is, do I really even need these in here? I'll keep going, and if I find I don't need them, I can pull them later. So, okay. So we grab the attack types from the weapon. Ta-da! Nice and simple. Haha, timeliness. I was able to hit my mic in time this time. So we've got the weapon attack types. Let's see. So now we need to turn on or off certain things based on the based on what the weapon attack type is. And also we need to keep in mind that if the attack types are just none. Oh, I guess I need to do if weapon attack type dot none. So if it's 0, right, if there's no flags here, then we're just going to go straight into the attack. We're not going to query anything. We're not going to ask for anything. We're just going to say, just choose the attack subtype of 0, and we're done. That's it. Otherwise, we need to hide and show buttons based on what each of these is. So, let's see. First off, I wonder if there's an easy way to count the number of flags in the enum here. Okay, so, yeah, here is, I ran into this a long time ago, and it's a really funny way to do this. Let's see, we're going to return an int, which is going to be the number of flags set. We are going to then say, get flags in enum, or get flag count. And let's see here. The only thing I don't know, I guess we can just, no, I don't think I can do an enum type. I probably have to do a cast to a uint eventually. So, and here's the weirdest code you'll ever see. I've seen this written out once, and I hope I remember this correctly. Let's see here. So uint, I don't know if I want to do a 32-bit specific version, but we'll just say uint v. Actually, no, we don't even need that. All right. Actually, we do. So, this is the weirdest code. specifically because it looks like complete gibberish. Did I do that right? Are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, 8 5s. Good. Okay, we do that. We then say v is v. V equals v anded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus v right shifted twice and then anded again against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finally, v plus v right shifted 4 times anded against OX F0 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 F. See what I mean? This thing looks like complete mumbo jumbo. But what it does is, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but it essentially says, actually I can just return straight through that. What it essentially does is it proceeds to count through, it proceeds to count all the flags in an enum, and it does it in constant time, as opposed to doing something like looking through each bit in the enum and then specifically, you know, incrementing if that bit is on or not. And so, yeah, it's just bit shifting. But it's bit shifting by some bizarre values over and over again, right? Each time you do a shift or you do a multiply or something else, you're doing shifting in a bunch of weird places in order to kind of do this as quickly as possible, right? That's the whole reason. I just call it weird because it's just got these magic values in it. And I don't fully understand it myself, which is why I kind of think it's bizarre. One of these days, I will sit down and like walk through it and figure it out. But for now, I don't want to spend the time to do that. So attack type count is going to be my gameutil dot. Did I not make that function static? I did not. And we're just going to take the attack types that we've got, convert it to an unsigned int, pass it in, and get the number of attack types out so that we can say let's see here. What is the name on these things? Subtype what button? Okay, so it's and those are children of the action choices. So I actually should say action choice root. Okay, so we find the child by name. We grab the game object. That's that. We set the game object to active. So now that we've got them active or inactive, I did put, yeah, okay, swing is a standard one here. What do I have? It says subtype 1, 2, and 3. Okay, first off, that's not very programmerly of us. let's just quickly fix up our unprogrammerly counting here. There we go. Just quickly reapply those changes. Okay, so we go through, we say for each flag, not only do we turn it on, we need to grab that flag and set it. So we have to grab the text. Let's see here. Kind of tempted to make another let's see here. How do we get the first, let's see here. Is there some way to iterate over values in a flags enum? That's my question. Not really. Okay. There's one interesting way to do it using an enumerable type. Will that even work, actually? Okay, one sec. So we have enum, oh, right, enum is system.enum. There we go. E.has flags. No. Yeah, that's funny. It must be the old version of .NET they're using that doesn't have this stuff yet. I know Unity is fairly far behind on that stuff. Has flag, I think, is a .NET 4 feature. And so you very quickly figure out, oh, hey, look, you can't use the, people will have great solutions for code. And it'll be like, oh, this is .NET 3, this is .NET 4. Well, guess what? We can't use those. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to do this kind of the old-fashioned way. Which would be we have get flag in enum and yeah, okay, let's just do this the long way. So let's see, while flags is not equal to 0, we're just going to loop over it and then keep shifting it, essentially, until we get what we want. No, actually, that's not the way to do this. That is wrong. Or not wrong, but silly. If I want the first or the second or the third flag in here, how would I do that? People are saying you could split by string. Ugh, I'd rather not. I really would rather not. Wow, all the solutions here are very... I'm not a huge fan of them, honestly. Seems very overkill. And a lot of people keep using has flag, which is great for them, but I'm kind of stuck. I can't use has flag. You know what? Fine. We'll do this my way. And we'll try and be cute using the enumerable stuff. We'll see how well this works, but, it shouldn't be too bad. Now let's see here. We have what do you mean IE numerable? Oh, okay. Right, okay, cool. So I have to remember how to do this now. Get values of the enum type. Right, we actually have to pass in the enum type, otherwise it complains. And why are you unhappy? Okay, it's not. It just, Visual Studio is just messing with me. That's fine. Okay. Technically, I think a flag can go up to 64 bits. Part of me is tempted to cut everything off at 32, just because I don't actually care or need to know about the full 64 bits. So I'd say uint. To uint 32, and this is our value. So we've converted it into our bits. If bits is 0, don't really care. Let's see. If flags contains the current bits, so if this is not equal to 0, then we return the value. Static types cannot be used as parameters. What? Static types. Oh, type. Singular type. And this should be a system type. The reason I'm so hesitant to use the system namespace is that there is a lot of bits and pieces in here that, really? Really? Oh, I know. Bits. How about that? Is that better? It's complaining a little less. So the reason I'm so hesitant to use the system namespace is because Unity actually has some stuff that collides with the system namespace. So if I do using Unity engine and using system, it'll start to complain because, for example, both have a random class at their root. And that causes some pain in terms of bits and pieces that you don't want in there. Did this actually gain me what I wanted for each flag in the enum? Yeah, no, this did. Okay. Let's see here. In gameutil dot get flags in. So the enum is our attack types. And we need the type of the weapon attack type to go in there as well. which makes me think that maybe I should be doing this out here instead of in there. Let's do it out here first and see how that goes. So we're going to get the game object based on the... Let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So... let's try that and see how well that plays with everything else. Cannot convert from weapon attack type to uint. Okay, we need to do the manual conversion there. And that should do it. So now, make sure all my changes are there. Don't want to miss anything. I does not exist in the current context. Well, oh yes, of course it doesn't. It should be index, not I. It's been a long time since I played with flags this much. Okay, so we've got an error in here. Specifically insofar as it looks like it says subtype 0 still. Actually, okay, it was on line 57. So it was here. It can't actually find the text. And that's because we grabbed the button and not the text. There actually is no text on the button, so to speak. We actually need to so we're going to grab the button transform first. We're going to say the button transform.gameObject set active to true. That's easy. And then we say, using the button transform, we're going to find a child who, I think the name should just be text. And then we can do our get component text. And we can do the set here instead. So that should make our life a little easier. So I step forwards, I say attack. Hey, look, we got swing and thrust. Now, when you click on it, I want to re-hide all those buttons. So let's see here. Is less than 3, I think, is all I have there right now. And we're just going to use the same exact call to fix all this up. Subtype blank button dot game object dot set active false. Sweet. And I can't help but notice the tabbing on that is broken. Thanks, Visual Studio. Interesting, the rogue's attack button is not doing anything. Weird. Oh, probably because our rogue, do they not have any items in their inventory? No, no one else has items in their inventory. Only the warrior does, right? The warrior was the only one attacking with an actual item in hand. I think everyone else was just punching and kicking, which is something we need to take care of. So let's see. Okay, so if else right, I know what I need to do here. This needs to live outside of that. And then we just set it in here. This doggy playtime might happen. attack types dot, or we should say it equals punch and kick. Simple stuff. Alright, this should give us what we need. Yeah, so now the people with no weapons in hand have a punch and a kick. Sweet. Now, obviously, right now we have no change, right? This is still just running combat as is. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time. I gotta take off in a moment. So, if you guys have any questions, now's your chance. Eventually, and by eventually I mean probably tomorrow, or I might finish this on my own. Essentially, what needs to happen here is, when you do a swing, swing is normal, nothing changes. When you do a thrust, we need to do like a -2 or a minus something to hit, and then add to the amount of damage you do. There's a bunch of ways to handle this. So we need to figure out how to implement those modifiers. Excuse me. We have to figure out how to implement those modifiers afterwards. So thanks again. Oop. I cannot put my words together today. Thanks for joining me, guys. It's been fun. I gotta take off, though. If you haven't hit the follow button already, I encourage you to do so. You get to not only see the game kind of progress step by step, but you'll also get emails when I go online. I will be back online tomorrow morning, my usual 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm not seeing anything else. So thanks again, guys, for joining me, and we should be able to just finish up getting the modifiers in the next swing. It should be pretty easy to get all the modifiers tossed into place so that we can just hammer that out, be done with it, and move on to the next task. Honestly, I want to get spells in. It feels silly to have a mage in the group and not have him be able to cast spells. So I really want to do that next. I don't know why I'm finishing combat here. It's not like it matters a ton. It's just fun to beat things up, I guess. Which is a good sign, right? If I sit here and happily play my own game, like, I'm doing something right. Or so I think. Now, it is an extra click. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'd like to see if I can't, like, find a way to reduce that again for players who are used to it. Alright, thanks again, guys. It's been fun. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a great day and take care. Bye.